So a few days ago, I saw a video of the US presidents as the seven deadly sins, and this got me thinking, what if the presidents of the United States were of the seven heavenly virtues? Let's get right into the video, beginning with the virtue of humility. The definition of humility is the feeling or attitude that you have no special importance that makes you better than others. So the opposite of pride. I think the clear winner here is the first president of the United States, George Washington. The clear act of humility was leaving office after his second term, after not even wanting to run for a single term. Washington was also liked for his humility, and this was proven when he was elected president after not even wanting the job. In his post-presidency on Mount Vernon, Washington never told stories about the war or his presidency to the people who visited him. All he would talk about was his farm and his crops. This shows Washington's humility as well, because instead of talking about his major accomplishments, he would focus on the current situations, which, in my opinion, gives him the title of the virtue of humility. Moving on to charity. Charity is defined by generosity and selflessness. And for me, two presidents come to mind for this category: Jimmy Carter and Herbert Hoover. Both are amazing humanitarians and have done so much to help people, but I think the title of the virtue of charity must go to the 31st president, Herbert Hoover. Now, this may seem strange, putting one of the worst presidents in the history of the United States as the virtue of charity, but here's my primary reason. During World War I, Herbert Hoover was a part of several operations to evacuate over 120,000 Americans trapped in Europe. He also used his own and others' fortunes to create the Commission for Relief in Belgium, which gave necessities to those trapped in Belgium, including more than 2 million tons of food that was donated. In my eyes, this makes Hoover more than worthy of the virtue of charity. Chastity is the act of refraining from sexual acts or only with your spouse. This is a pretty easy one. The president worthy of the virtue of chastity is the 15th president, James Buchanan, solely and purely due to the fact that he never married. Some have even speculated he's on the asexual spectrum. There really isn't much to this, just the fact that he was never married and thus never really had any opportunities to engage in sexual activity. Next up, kindness. Kindness is defined by being a nice, friendly person. The clear winner here is the aforementioned 39th president, Jimmy Carter. Whilst having a subpar presidency, Carter more than makes up for that with his kind acts such as building houses up until he retired at age 97, as well as his generally friendly demeanor. And side note, the man is still alive as of recording this video at age 99. You can make it to 100, rooting for you, Jimmy. This also means he's had 99 years to perfect the act of kindness. His sympathy levels are also prominent, most notably when he found out about the death of President Kennedy in 1963. He sat on his front porch and openly wept, which he hadn't done since his father's death in 1951. This proves how sad he was for the country and the Kennedy family. This, in my opinion, makes Jimmy Carter more than worthy of the title of the virtue of kindness. Temperance is the act of not drinking alcohol. This is another obvious choice. Whilst there have been few teetotaler presidents, none were as dedicated as 19th President Rutherford B. Hayes. Rutherford and his wife were both teetotalers, especially his wife. Both loved lemonade, to the point his wife, Lucy, earned the nickname Lemonade Lucy. This one is also kind of self-telling, so I declare Rutherford B. Hayes worthy of the title of the virtue of temperance. On to our penultimate virtue, patience. Patience is the ability to wait for something. My choice here is the president who has been in politics the longest, 46th President Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the president as of making this video, and most definitely the one who's waited the longest. Not only is he the oldest president, taking office in 2021 at the age of 78, but he was also the president who has been in politics for the longest by far, taking his seat in the Delaware Senate in 1973. He was actually 29 in his initial bid, so he was too young to be in the Senate. However, by the time he'd take his seat, he would have been 30. So he was in the Senate from 1973 all the way to when he became Barack Obama's vice president in 2009, meaning he was in the Senate for 36 years, making him the president with the most time in the Senate and 19th longest senator of all time. Then he was vice president for 8 years and didn't run in 2016 due to mourning his son, who died at age 46 of brain cancer. He waited another 4 years in 2020. So in total, from the time he took his Senate seat to when he was elected president, that was a gap of 49 years. This, in my opinion, makes Joe Biden worthy of the virtue of patience. Now for the final virtue, diligence. Diligence is the constant drive to accomplish something, so I believe that we need to give this to a president with either the most accomplishments or the best accomplishment. I have two main candidates here, Abraham Lincoln and Franklin D. Roosevelt. Lincoln had the best accomplishment, in my opinion, ending slavery and overseeing the US over the Civil War. However, Roosevelt had a lot of accomplishments, some of which being the New Deal, leading the country through the majority of World War II, and providing social security to the United States. And between the two, I think I'm going to give the edge to the 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, but my opinion could literally change tomorrow. I feel like overseeing the biggest war in American history and finally abolishing the cause of that war, slavery, makes Abraham Lincoln worthy of the title of the virtue of diligence. So that's it. The 7 heavenly virtues as presidents: George Washington, Herbert Hoover, James Buchanan, Jimmy Carter, Rutherford B. Hayes, Joe Biden, and Abraham Lincoln. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want more of this content. Comment your opinions and criticisms of the video. And yeah, that's basically it. Love you guys. Bye.